Excellent. Well, hi. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. I'm having a good day. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. So let's dive right in because I know you have a limited amount of. So you're starring in a horror movie that's about hair, which is definitely unique and definitely different. What was
uh
your first thought when you were first given the script for bad hair?
Well, I had heard a few whispers about Justin writing this movie because I know he'd been workshopping it for a long time. So I'd had a few ideas about what it could be about, but I didn't actually know. So when I got it, I was like, this is insane, but genius. Like, how is Justin this incredible? And I understood the character. I understood like the depths of what this meant to her and having a dream and being willing to fight for it and willing to do almost anything to get there. So I related to her and I was like, I have to play it. I have to bring everything I have to this audition and make sure that I leave nothing out. I leave it all in the room and I just give my whole self. And I'm so grateful I did in the end.
How would you describe this film? Because I know it's like a horror blended with,
Hmm.
social commentary. But how would you describe it?
Um, well, it's super layered. So I'm gonna layer it in my wording. It's a satirical, psychological thriller about a young woman who is on a personal journey to reach her goals. And along the way, she makes
Mhm.
compromises, and those compromises leave her in situations that ultimately leave her with a killer weave. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot. There's social commentary, there's comedy, but there's also like soul and heart at its core.
Mm. Well, one of the things you said earlier that kind of caught my attention was you were saying how this character is pretty much willing to do whatever it takes to
Yeah.
to get make her dreams come true, including getting the killer weave. But and you mentioned you can kind of relate to that. Like, have you had to straighten your hair in the past or do something with your hair specifically in order to get the parts you want?
Girl, yeah. So I mean, I grew up perming my hair. I grew up with relaxers my whole life. And when I moved to LA, I still had the perm going. And very quickly I was told that I needed to get the weave. I needed to present myself in a certain way if I actually want to move up in this career. And I did. And I think that was a part of my journey and I did it for years. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I was getting my hair done constantly, trying to portray a certain version of myself. And at some point, when I decided to go on a personal exploration, I decided to like stop with that and just cut all my hair off and get to know myself on a deeper level. So that was actually really like gratifying and life changing. And I still have the freedom to do whatever I want with it, but I have a full relationship to myself, my identity, and my body.
Mm. See, now that what you just described, I know so many women have experienced that, and a lot of women of
Yeah.
color.
Hmm.
And is it safe to say that it's that component that trying to stay true to yourself, but also trying to be successful? That's also a line that's in the film itself. Is that safe to
Yeah.
say? Okay, so
Yeah.
just want to make sure because I mean, because you see the previews and a lot of people have been talking about it. You're not sure what to take away from. You just know that there's some scary involved, and that's kind of a thing. But can you maybe explain for those who maybe aren't of color who don't understand why this could even be considered a horror slash psychological thriller?
Yeah. I mean, one, I think there's a lot to take away. It's so layered. That's how Justin writes. It's wonderful. There's so much to open and reveal throughout it. But it's a horror because she goes on this journey and she gets this thing done, in order to be successful. And it goes completely left. It takes her somewhere else. And, you know, I'm, I like to think of it as the thing that's once your armor becoming what cages you and traps you. And that's a horrific experience. And so many of us understand that in a layered way and understand like the having to assimilate in order to feel like we get to be a part or feel safe in our environment. And she goes through all of that and we see it erupt in her life.
Mm. Well, I'm with Hype Hair Magazine, so of course we always
Yeah.
focus on the hair,
Yes.
and so you mentioned earlier that you did go natural, you did do the big chop.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to have your hair out, or do you prefer to do braids? Can I see you're rocking that right now? What's your preference?
Thank you. All of it. I have fun with my hair. I think of it as like, my accessory, and it depends on my mood. I'm natural at times, completely like for months or years at a time. But right now I'm just in a phase, like in the summer, I've been doing braids and twists. And I think it's cool that I have that amount of flexibility. Like that's part of the magic of my hair and the magic of our hair. We get to just wear it however we want and walk into the world, with this jewelry and this crown and honor it. So I mix it up. Right now, I think I'll take a little break after this though.
Oh, well, I love it. I love the braids. Are they braids? Are they box braids, or those single?
They're twists.
Oh.
They're like, yeah, they're little bouncy twist situations.
Well, you're definitely you do what a lot of women do, which is switch it up, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Are there any products that you swear by that you love?
I keep leaving conditioner, keep it constantly around. I love like mango oil. I love olive oil, of course. I gotta have my edge control. I play this role in Insecure, Trina, and her baby hairs be on point. And that is one of the things I honor and I try to do in my real life. I don't got it like that. But I keep edge control.
Because I was gonna ask, if you figured out how to get the laid edges, like definitely share which edge control you're using.
I explore. I think I found it. I have some good ones. I think I found it, and then I have to mix it up throughout. You know how products, you got to do it. You gotta keep your hair guessing.
Oh yeah. So tell me, when it comes to your regular maintenance in between projects, do you typically have your hair out, or what is usually your tips for keeping your hair healthy in between your different film projects?
Yeah, I keep my hair out a lot. I do a lot of twist outs. Honestly, when I'm doing my hair too, I think it's important to pour love into it. So I'm like honoring it and looking at it and being like, oh, look at that. That may sound a little much, but I just really try to take care of it. And I do, deep conditions, and I do hot oil treatments at times, but I try to still have fun with my hair and mix it up, but also give it its time to rest. And I find that really important. And listen to it and give it what it's asking for at that time.
Well, speaking of listening to it, I mean, when it comes to the film itself, I mean, obviously there's an angry leaf afoot.
Yeah.
So I know fans are already speculating what they're going to see, but what can fans expect to see? What can you share without giving away all the details?
I think it's about going and having a good time. And when you leave, there will be so many conversations had. There's so many layers to it, like I was saying earlier, that the expectation of what you think you're going to see, you'll be blown out. That's where the psychological thriller comes in, because you think you're headed down one road and you look up and you're in an entirely different place. And so I think it's just important to go in willing to have fun and willing to be taken into this world and come out and have some really dope conversations. And each time you watch it, you'll get a new piece of it. You'll get a new layer, and you'll have a new understanding or be inspired, or some new trauma will come up. And you're like, I did that. I remember when I got that chemical burn when I was 7, and like that's part of the reason I don't like this now. But I think it's just a really dope, fun movie, and it's something like we've never seen before.
And one more question for you. I know the film is set like in 1989, but still hot.
Yeah.
Why the director or the writer chose to go in that direction and chose that time frame?
Justin's obsessed with that time frame. He loves it. He wrote a lot of the music for the film, like most of it, and even made some of the skeleton music beats and all that. And I think he understands it. I think he also was a kid during that time, so it's really personal to him. And it also like it's set in a period, so it makes us feel a little separate from it, even though it reflects our world today. It just gives us a little distance to be able to accept what we're seeing.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing the film.
Right. You too. Thank you. And you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.